Hey everybody, Joe Gilder from HomeStudioCorner.com here, and today's video I want to talk about using distortion to help bring out a lead vocal. A few weeks ago I was working on this song for a client, and I sent him a mix, and I was pretty happy with it, but he told me the song was going to be going to music publishers, and it was important that the vocals were loud enough to be able to understand all the lyrics. So the mix I had sent to him had the vocals at roughly this level.
Maybe it's not the way you planned it. Maybe it's not up to you. I know you think your dreams crash landed, but at least you can say they flew.
So I was fairly happy with that level, but he said for what he's doing and his purposes, he needed it to be a little bit louder. So it was crystal clear over the entire mix. And so I said, sure, that's fine. So I came back in, and the first thing I obviously thought about doing was simply just raising the volume. And so I tried that, and let's take a listen to what that sounds like. Just turning it up maybe 3 dB.
Maybe it's not the way you planned it. Maybe it's not up to you. I know you think your dreams crash landed, but at least you can say they flew.
Okay, so that just to me was almost too obvious and too on top of the mix. He probably would have been happy with that, and I could have just called it a day and moved on. But I just thought, the vocal seems too naked and kind of just stands alone right there, particularly on the verses.
And you're wondering what to do with everything you're going through.
I just thought it just was kind of too on top of the mix to where it sounded disjointed. So what I did was duplicate the track and add distortion to that same vocal and blend that in. So instead of just turning up this track, I added a distorted track and blended that in with the original. So the way I did that is just to come in and duplicate track, and it duplicates everything. So, and here it comes. There it is. Okay, so that's the exact same audio. It actually duplicated the exact same settings, plugins, and everything. And I'm not going to show you that. We'll delete that one because I already have it duplicated over here. Delete. Okay, so here's the doubled track that I created. And you'll notice I have a different set of plugins here. Here I've got a channel strip, a de-esser, and a second compressor. Here, though, I added a distortion plugin, and this is the Air Distortion plugin that comes with Pro Tools 8. And then I added my typical channel strip with roughly the same settings there, and a time adjuster plugin, because if you look over here, this without the time adjuster plugin on, this particular track, these plugins here on the lead vocal delay the signal by 65 samples. So over here, without the time adjuster plugin, it's only 1. So I need to delay it by more so they're not out of phase with each other, because it would be noticeable with 2 identical parts like this. Okay, so I've got those on there. Now let's listen to what the second track sounds like. So here's the original right here.
Maybe it's not the way you planned it. Maybe it's not up to you.
Okay, and then here is the distorted track.
Maybe it's not the way you planned it. Maybe it's not up to you. I know you.
So really gritty and not what you'd want in the mix. This in the mix would not sound good.
Maybe it's not up to you.
Okay, so it's got to be down in the mix. And as you notice, it's fairly low, and you can just barely hear it. But when you blend it in with the lead vocal, it causes the lead vocal to cut through a little more. Take a listen.
Maybe it's not the way you planned it. Maybe it's not up to you. I know you think your dreams crash landed.
So it's got a little more grit, a little more high-end. It's not harsh. It just cuts through a little more. So if we remove the doubled vocal, I'm going to play it for you with the doubled vocal removed, and then I'm going to add it back in so you can hear the difference without me talking in between.
Maybe it's not the way you planned it. Maybe it's not up to you. Maybe it's not the way you planned it. Maybe it's not up to you.
And for effect, just so you're definitely hearing it, let's do it with just the vocal soloed.
Maybe it's not the way you planned it. Maybe it's not up to you. Maybe it's not the way you planned it. Maybe it's not up to you. Maybe it's not the way you planned it.
So those higher notes, the louder notes, just get really gritty and distorted and cause that vocal to cut through. So in essence, yes, I turned up the vocal, but I did it by adding a second vocal and doing some distortion and treating it differently to increase the overall perceived level of the vocal without cranking the level of the first vocal. So next time you're working on a vocal mix, if you're having issues getting that vocal to cut through, try duplicating that, running it through some sort of a distortion. You can use a distortion plugin. You can actually run it out through a distortion pedal on your pedal board if you're a guitarist. Be creative. Try different things and see if that doesn't help. Again, I'm Joe Gilder from HomeStudioCorner.com. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you around soon. Oh, also, if you like this and you want to see other videos like it, you can look at my YouTube channel or head over to HomeStudioCorner.com and poke around there and you'll find a few. All right, thanks a lot.
Maybe it's not the way you planned it. Maybe it's not